Hi, I'm Jana, and this is a real mom car tour of the 2024 Hyundai Tucson Limited Hybrid. I'm going to take you on a quick tour of the exterior later because it just rained and it's really not tour material right now, but I was already here and I already toured the inside for the most part. So I'm going to piecemeal all of this together. Bear with me. I promise I'm going to give you everything you need to know about the 2024 Hyundai Tucson. It has an MSRP as shown of $41,000. It is a gas sipper. It has 37 mpg on average, which is a little bit less than some of the competition. So I want to know if you see the tech and safety features, if you think that's going to warrant the $41,000 price tag for this small SUV that is a 5-seater. I like the design elements of this Tucson. We do have LED lights all the way around. And we have this really interesting, I'm gonna call this a smoked out grille. It's not chrome, I'm not exactly sure what this material is, but it's got a really interesting darkened appearance. Under the hood, we're working with a 1.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder hybrid engine. It has a little bit of get up and go. It had enough get up and go for me on highway driving when I had it in sport mode. And of course you get a little bit of extra horsepower and torque because it is a hybrid. You'll notice on the side profile that we have some really interesting details in the design. I'm not sure how I feel about these cuts. It does give it some interest visually. It took me a second to get used to, but I don't hate it. You do have 19-inch alloy wheels. Your side view mirrors do fold, manual adjustment. You have your turn signal here, your blind spot indicator here. And there's a camera right here that gives you that 360 bird's eye view on your screen. I like the back of the Tucson with this design. I think it looks good. I like how interesting these lights are. Again, we have LEDs all the way around, and this is a light bar. Let me just step on the brakes. So you do have your LED lights with the LED light bar. You see your badging for your 8-track, which is your all-wheel drive system, and our hybrid badging. So, I don't have the key on me. I'm going to use a manual open. I do not know if this has a hands-free liftgate, but I will look. You do have a backup camera and a camera that goes with your 360. You can open your liftgate manually with the key fob. And I do want to show you the key fob. It's not the new key fob that the Kona has that looks like an H. It's the standard key fob that they have for Palisade and their other vehicles. Your key fob though, you can walk this car so you can get it to park itself. It'll go up and back. You can open your hatch, sound your horn, lock and unlock, all pretty standard. And you can do most of those things with your Hyundai BlueLink app. And with the app, you can schedule your service, check the status of your car as far as your fluids, your air pressure, and all that stuff. All your diagnostics are actually in your BlueLink app. One of the things I want you to notice is that you can adjust the height of your liftgate. So if you're shorter or if you have less clearance or a lower garage, you can pull this down so that it will only open to the height that you adjust it to. Pretty standard. A lot of cars have that now, but I'd like to show you because some people haven't had a new car in a while. So in the cargo area, so as you would expect, you have a lot of cargo back here. You do have a manual pull and these seats will go flat. I have a bunch of junk up there, so I'm not gonna lay them both down, but take my word for it. You have speakers back here and a 12-volt plug and one light right here. There's a tiny little bit of storage under here and stuff for a tire change should you need it. So this is pretty straightforward. Okay, you see your Camry here. What are you thinking so far? You have a little bit of a spoiler. Oh my gosh, and now the sirens are going. What is the deal today? I'm gonna bring you in just for you to see some detail here. You do have those roof rails. I don't know what they accommodate. Just another side profile look before we get out of here. And I'll show you how it looks in the second row. Okay, the full moon must be in play because I just shot the whole inside and went to take my phone off the mount and none of it recorded. So glad I checked. Here we are, round 2. I cursed a lot in round 1, so I won't do that to you today. With the touch of a button, and I got this wrong last time, this pano roof has a shade that will open all the way. Unfortunately, I don't know how to do it without this freaking glass opening, so I'm just gonna let it be. But the shade will come all the way back and the glass will open halfway back. These seats do recline, and they recline with handles on the side pretty far back. There are 2 sets of lower latches with 3 top tethers. Pretty standard. You have an armrest with 2 cup holders, and there's an additional bottle holder in each door. You have 2 USB charging ports here, and your vents are in the center console, which is fine for a car of this size. One thing I want to draw your attention to that I really appreciate is the fact that the back of these seats and all your high touch surface areas are black. Hyundai uses, they call this beige, I believe, and I think it's more of like a dove, a light gray. It's a really pretty, beautiful interior. And all the high touch points where my kids are back here kicking and putting their dirty shoes in, this is darker, which I just think is a nice touch. So hopefully less cursing and that all recorded. Let's see, yeah. There are 3 headrests, which I think are important. And now I'm just rambling, but I do want to mention, I said earlier that I wasn't sure if these seats are heated, and they are. And the button for the heated seats is actually on the door here, which is why I didn't know at first. And you have 2 levels of heated seats, and you can see down here those cup holders I was talking about. Just going for a closer look on what I meant by the two-tone. You can see pollen season here, and it just rained. But I do like the fact that your touch points are black. All right, swinging around in the driver's seat. Your driver's seat is power adjusted with lumbar, and your passenger seat is also power adjusted. Both these seats are both heated and ventilated, and your steering wheel is also heated. It is a manual adjustment. It does go up and down, and it telescopes in and out. And I've got it out like a grandma right now with paddle shifters. My only gripe about these paddle shifters is that I do have long legs, and a lot of times when I'm turning and my knees kind of up, I bump the paddle shifter, and it's always on the left side, and it always takes me down a gear. So I'm always in drive, and I'll hear the engine revving, and it's in like 3rd gear or something wild. And the quickest way to rectify that is just to hit D, and it'll automatically put me back in the gear I'm supposed to be in drive. I don't know if that's a user error, but I have a Hyundai Palisade with paddle shifters, and it happens in there almost every time I drive. So either I have incredibly long legs, I suck at driving, or the paddle shifters needs a little bit of work. I don't know. Could be any and all of the above. Let me tell you a couple of my favorite things about the Hyundai color touchscreen. First of all, the thing I don't like is that it's wired Apple CarPlay and wired Android Auto. I do not like that. I do like the BlueLink app, and I like the fact that BlueLink has a voice command. What's the weather?
The weather is 68 degrees and mostly cloudy in Raleigh.
You can even do your nav. I need directions to the North Carolina Museum of Art.
Would you like guidance to this location?
I'm already here. Now, a couple other things on this screen that I'll show you that I like. If you can deal with this glare and you can see me in it, I'm sorry, it's just this black. It's just how it goes. Our digital gauge cluster is customizable, so you can change your cluster theme, one of 3. You can link it to your drive mode. So if I were to go into sport mode, for example, it would turn red. Or you could use this cube theme, which is probably very Korean, but it's not something that I'm interested in. And then you have the classics, Classic A, Classic B, and Classic C. You can control your climate from your screen. You can actually control your seats and your warmer and ventilation from here. I call it heated and ventilated seats, but you get it. Favorite thing, always love ambient lighting. And this has a ton of different choices of ambient lighting. You can get one of the prefix ambient lights, or you can set a custom color around this wheel if you just want a certain kind of blue. I'm feeling hot pink right now though. Is that hot pink enough? There we go. Just something fun to customize your Tucson. Wired Apple CarPlay and wired Android Auto. You need to plug in a USB device, a USB cord, in order to get CarPlay to come up on your screen, which is a drag, but it is what it is. I will show you since I'm right here. and then move some of this junk. I will show you since I'm right here. You do have your ventilated seats are pulled out, your heated seats, your heated steering wheel. You have your downhill brake control on or off. What is this? And you have your cameras. So this shows you, I'm kind of parked all wacky right now. I was trying to film, but you can also change your angles and your view. And then your passenger also has heated and ventilated seats. This is your drive mode selector, your electronic gear shifter, your 2 cup holders, your electronic parking brake, and the auto hold button, which I know is extremely controversial. I don't mind it. In your armrest, you have a ton of storage. It's really deep in there, but there are no charging ports. Your only charging ports for the driver, or your only charging ports for the front seat are your USB, your 12 volt, and your USB here. And then this is your wireless charging pad. Let me just kind of zoom in so I can show you the drive modes. When your cluster is linked to your drive mode, it's going to look like this. So your drive mode selector is right here. And here we have, let's start up at the top. We have Eco, which is going to be your best MPG. Sport, which is going to be the lowest MPG, but the best zippy performance. Smart, and Smart Drive mode is actually kind of neat. Smart Drive mode is interesting because what it does is the car's intuitive enough that it takes into account your driving habits and styles. And the car adapts a drive mode that is customized for you, which I think is kind of cool. Mine would be like running over curbs and accelerating hard. Be like the Jana drive mode. And then last but not least, we have Snow, which is going to activate your all-wheel drive, your 8-track system. You can see the energy flow and where that goes. And let me show you a little bit else about your steering wheel in your 2024 Tucson. I showed you the voice control. This is a customizable, this star feature. So this could be whatever you wanted. If you wanted it to bring up your navigation or control the radio or whatever, you could do that here. This is your lane keep, and your adaptive cruise control is all controlled here. And then to change views on your display, it is with this button. And you can see as you toggle through, you can see your tire pressure, your driver attention warning, and all the systems. I do want to show you this mixed material that carries across your dash, and I'm going to show you on the door because it's easiest to show you here. You do have memory seating for 2. Let me just mention that in this chaotic review. But you have this synthetic, we'll say leather-like or whatever we're going to call that, and this is a nice material. You have that shiny black stuff that a lot of people hate. What do we call that? Piano key? I just visually think that the different use of mixed materials looks really sharp. You have a little cubby here. It's not a pass-through, but it is a cubby that you can kind of put stuff, and it's on each side of your console. And it's really hard to get in there, but there you go. So on each side of your console. Okay, so before I get arrested by this man who's just circling around me, let me tell you in summary what I liked and what you need to know. I like the fact that it's 37 mpg on average. I like the fact that it's a hybrid. I love the styling. I love the interior. I do not love the wired connectivity for CarPlay and Android Auto. I don't necessarily love the paddle shifters, but I will take full credit that it may be a me problem. I do love the LED lights all the way around. I don't love that freaking guy driving circles around me in his loud freaking thing. I like your bird's eye view, your 360 camera, and your backup camera. I like the fact that this has the hands-free where you can park it and walk it with your key, which I will just show you right now. It comes in really handy when you're in a tight space, so bear with me. This is if you want to move the car up and back and use this as a remote control. Let me show you how I use this technology. First of all, I want to remote start my car. So you unlock, lock, and then hit the auto hold. Notice it is straightening up the wheels. So let's just try to pull it forward. This comes in really handy if you're at the mall or parked somewhere at a parking spot and somebody parks on top of your car and they're too close and you can't get in the driver's side or whatever the situation is. You can walk the car with your key fob. You can back it up the same way. So you can you hear that sound? The lights, I'm a little bit far away. You can't be more than 13 feet away because it won't work. But the car is dinging and the lights are flashing. It's making that noise to let you know that this is an unmanned vehicle. To my understanding, it will steer around obstacles. So if something were to dart in front of it, it would stop. The Tucson should get 37 mpg. I think that the mpg is calculated based off of eco mode because they're going to give you the best mpg. And hybrids actually have a better mpg in the city than they do on the highway because you're using your battery power when you're at stoplights, idling, and that sort of thing. You're not using your gas, which is why it's reversed from a regular engine. For those of you who do like to see the window sticker, I have been requested that in the past. You can see your safety ratings, your government safety ratings, 5-star crash ratings, 4-star driver ratings, and 4-star when it comes to rollover. $41,000 is your MSRP. And you can see your standard safety features here. One of the things people love is America's Best Warranty. You have your 5-year, 60,000 mile new vehicle. One thing I forgot to show you with your turn signals is there's a camera. I guess you call it a turn signal camera. I don't know the exact name, but when you activate your turn signal, it shows you a camera on what's on that side of the car, which I think is terrific. So I hope you enjoyed this quick and somewhat discombobulated tour of the 2024 Hyundai Tucson Limited Hybrid. All mistakes are my own. I apologize. I don't get everything right every time, but I do try. And if I catch anything I said incorrectly, I usually try to edit it and put it either in the notes, in the comments, or something on the screen. So let me know what you thought of my tour of the Tucson, and let me know what else you'd like to see me review. I like to do fun and family vehicles, and I think I have some really fun stuff coming up. So if you're interested in that, hit the subscribe button. You can also follow me. I have a website, realmomcartours.com. I am on TikTok and Instagram at realmomcartours. Thanks for watching.